Thomas Jefferson is known for his views on equality and that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. However, while he claims that every man is created equal in the eyes of God, he himself did not show that through some of his writings and actions. Jefferson was openly an advocate for the abolition movement. He was vocal about not liking the slave trade. Jefferson himself stated that the slave trade violated the most sacred rights of life and liberty in person of a distant people. Now, while he believed in abolition, he did not believe that whites and African Americans could coexist together. He felt that in order for that to happen, colonization would have to take place and Africans would need their own place to live. While Jefferson believed that slavery was one of the greatest threats to our new nation's survival, he himself owned slaves, quite a few. He inherited from his mother. He was of the planter class. And Jefferson himself had several opportunities where he could have took action and made changes possibly with slavery and acting on the abolitionist movement. Hello class. Today I'm going to be talking about Thomas Jefferson and his views on slavery. Upon doing research on Thomas Jefferson and slavery, I found out that his views were quite contradicting one another. His thoughts in his mind, what he wrote down, and his actions in life did not align. And that's what today's post is going to be about. Jefferson himself stated, "Blacks, whether originally a distinct race, are made distinct by time and circumstances, are inferior to the whites in the endowments of both." Thomas Jefferson did own slaves, and he did view them as his property. If one were to escape, he would hire slave catchers to go out and try and catch them and retrieve them. And he was also known for putting ads in newspapers in order to get the return of a devoted slave. Once the slaves returned, he would punish them just like any other slave owner during the time. According to William Cohen, his behavior did not differ from that of other slaveholders. They would do what they needed to protect their property. Flogging, selling a runaway slave that was becoming a problem would be also something that you would see Jefferson do. He also had the opportunity to, when he died, free his slaves. He did not do that. They remained property and were handed down to the next generation. He had opportunities to make changes, act on what he was speaking with abolition. However, he did not. Amending Virginia's slave laws was one. He could have created laws that ensured the safety and freedom of men. However, he just amended old slave codes and added a section to prevent a rise in the number of free slaves in Virginia. So he still believed in that coexistence. Jefferson had the opportunity when he was president to act on his belief in abolitionist movement. However, he chose not to. This is another example of him not acting on his thoughts. His thoughts and actions were not aligned. There was a huge gap between them when we analyze Jefferson's history. When exploring and discussing Jefferson and his impact on history, I think that it's important that his beliefs on slavery does not tarnish the greatness that he had, great impact that he had on our nation with the statement of all men are created equal. I think when he wrote that was something of the time, and that slavery, even though it was on his mind, was not something that the nation was ready to address. And I believe that Jefferson knew that, therefore avoided it.